CBS News has now learned the Trump administration is issuing reduction in force notices to several federal agencies. This comes as Congress remains deadlocked over a funding plan to end a government shutdown. Earlier, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries placed the blame on Republicans.
Donald Trump and his toxic administration have been laying off federal employees and engaging in mass firings since day one of his presidency. And this is just a continuation of their unlawful actions because cruelty has been the point from the very beginning.
CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins me now with more on this. So, Nikole, which agencies are being targeted by these mass layoffs and why?
Yeah, well, keep in mind what preceded this was back before the shutdown even started. The Office of Management and Budget issued a memo kind of giving agencies a little bit of leeway to decide if they are able to do any of these reduction in forces in the event that a shutdown were to occur. And so now it appears that they may be starting the process of moving forward with this. Now, we don't necessarily know that agencies are being targeted per se. What we can say is that we do know that some agencies have issued notification or confirmed that notices have gone out, whether that is the Department of Treasury, the Department of Homeland Security, the Health and Human Services Department, as well as the Environmental Protection Agency, among others. But look, what these notices appear to indicate is that employees will be notified in the next 60 days of whether or not they will be fired. So again, we're still trying to understand some of the language and immediacy or lack thereof around this. Certainly, I can tell you, being here on Capitol Hill, a lot of lawmakers have questions and concerns, both Democrats, as you heard from Leader Jeffries there, but also some Republicans. You know, Leader John Thune saying that this is something that the White House had waited off on doing, but that they were bound to eventually make some decisions around this. But then you also have people like the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, people like Susan Collins, saying that she is opposed to OMB moving forward with this. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska also calling these decisions today poorly timed.
And Nikole, we also know that the Senate is not planning to return until next Tuesday, of course, because of the holiday weekend. The House also canceling votes for next week. So what does this mean for a timeline on how this moves forward and what happens next year?
Well, bottom line, it means the government isn't opening up anytime soon because there are no votes to be had, particularly in the Senate, although there have continued to be conversations among Democrats and Republicans. I asked Leader Thune about that earlier today. Take a listen. Do you feel like maybe you're getting closer to an off-ramp here?
I think Leader Schumer is checked out. I don't think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen organically with enough reasonable Senate Democrats who care enough about doing the right thing for their country and not what's in the best interests of their left-wing political base.
So as you heard Leader Thune there say pretty bluntly, really no plans or talks on the books between him and Leader Schumer. And quite frankly, those are the two leaders who are really key here in terms of moving the ball forward here in the Senate. We have seen them take votes over and over on government funding only for them to fail. Leader Thune's appeal is that if we can just get a few more Democrats to sign on to government funding, we can reopen the government. But Leader Schumer is saying, look, unless Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, and the president sit down with us as Democrats, we can't.
Got it. Okay, lots to follow here. A really fluid situation. Nikole Killion, thank you. Flight delays are persisting at major U.S. airports amid this government shutdown. TSA officers and air traffic controllers are required to continue working throughout the closure. But an uptick in workers calling out sick has now caused some complications. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Kris has more.
The TSA says the number of travelers jumped 20% yesterday, marking the start of this busy holiday weekend, even though major storms are in the forecast and air traffic control staffing issues continue. We're still seeing an increase in sick calls day 10 of the government shutdown, bringing more staffing issues at facilities across the country. The Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the share of delays due to staffing has surged tenfold. Southwest Airlines executives warned in an internal memo operational reliability as the government funding situation and its influence on controller staffing. They say it's dynamic and could change rapidly at any air traffic control facility. That said, the vast majority of controllers are on the job and the vast majority of flights are leaving more or less on time. That being said, the vast majority of flights are leaving more or less on time, and the vast majority of air traffic controllers remain on the job. Kris Van Cleave, CBS News, Burbank, California.